EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup on tap, as it'll be the Green Bay Packers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. The final 2-week stretch of the 2023 regular season, and we are underway week 17 here on this New Year's Eve. This fielded right at the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19.
At their own 19-yard line.
Here's Walker to start the drive. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 13 and a very solid opening play for this offense. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Cousins. Setting up the screen here. This is Walker. They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's 2nd down. The Vikings at 5-10 now on the year. And they were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset. Being in the right frame of mind, and the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They get the home crowd behind them. I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. He was trying to find Justin Jefferson there, but now it's 3rd down. You look at this Packers defense. We know they're going to be tough to throw on. Top 3 in the NFL defending the pass.
They may be ranked 3rd against the pass in the league, but they're the best that I've seen so far. Sometimes the numbers don't tell the full story.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 43. 21 yards there on 3rd down. Well, on third down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage.
Brought down that time by Quay Walker. This defense for the Packers, they were very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open.
And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Grady Jarrett in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
They've gobbled up over 30 yards of turf so far, but a sack knocks them backwards. And that interrupts the momentum they were building. Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive before they get to the end zone.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Now into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, picks him. And the Packers are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Well, that is a quick lesson on how difficult this defense is to throw against. An interception on their initial drive of the ball game.
Now we know why their offensive staff spent the entire week awake trying to prepare for this one, because you can't totally shy away from throwing the football. But at the same time, you're looking at them and going, where are the weaknesses? How are we going to move it?
One of the top defenses in the NFL for a reason. We just saw one example right there. Jones running on first down, but finding it pretty tough going as he'll get forward for only about 3 there before he's taken down. Well, these two teams, they met in Lambeau earlier in the season with the Packers winning that ball game. So if they can win here in Minnesota, they get a sweep of the season series. This a 2nd and 7 from the 37.
Red, yellow. Hey, red. 6, mega.
They just do get the playoff. Love going to throw it. Pass caught. It's Romeo Doubs. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A gain there of 30 big ones. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Love going to give this one to Jones. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Hey, look at this defense for the Vikings. Now they're currently 21st, Charles, in the NFL against the run.
One thing players always tell us is that they never really pay attention to numbers. I don't believe them for a second. They know where they rank, okay? They're not quite at the top, but they're far from the bottom. But let's face it, they want to move up. In order to do that, they've got to look at each other and make sure everyone's taking care of their assignments in order to play the run better. A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
A couple extra tight ends in the formation here as they line up 3rd and 2. To pass, here's Jordan Love. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free. It's 4th down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. So off goes Love. On is Carlson for the Packer field goal. on the left hash. This from 48 yards. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive stalls out, but the field goal does get him the first points of the night.
And 3 points, not to be underestimated. How about this, right? You're on the road. You're under the lights. National television audience. This is not a dress rehearsal, partner. This is for real. And a pretty nice opening statement.
From the end zone, here comes Brandon Powell. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now Cousins. And this, incomplete. He tried to check it down to his running back and nearly had the ball picked.
They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big 3rd down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
On 3rd down, Cousins able to find the open man. That's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A big play that time on the catch and run. 35 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Walker with it. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Go!
Gets it down to the 32. That were a 1st down pickup of 8.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he is going to wind up losing yardage here, as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 2nd quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, as they've got it 2nd down and 11. They'll try to throw now. Cousins. And this will be incomplete.
I know tight ends love this run because a lot of times they'll fake the block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle, because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Throwing, Cousins. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And the Packers are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal.
This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Packers. Christian Watson with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Packers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right after a turnover, you count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
You said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone.
Anders Carlson to kick off for the Packers.
So now Carlson, after the touchdown, called on to send this one away. Powell now to take it out of the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM, it always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
Now Cousins. Out route to Jefferson, and he's got it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Cousins in step with Jefferson that time. First down, Vikings.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think? A guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a tire breakdown on what the coverage was. That everyone thought they were doing something, and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he is and cover him on every play.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's 2nd and 6. Cousins. Middle of the field to Jefferson. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 32-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Running right, here's Walker. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. And he fires one incomplete.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
Cousins to throw it. And that will be incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions of what was once a nice drive. Stalled out here. I'm going to give credit to the secondary partner. Never gave up as they gave up a few yards, and they came through on that play to deny that pass and force the 4th down.
And this is going to miss left. I don't think it even got there either. It's no good either way.
It's been a nightmare season. You're well under 500. Your defense hasn't really kept you in a lot of games, and now it's spilling over to the kicking game. That's 3 points you've got to be able to bank on.
Ready.
About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line.
Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. pure, unbridled joy after that one.
43 rail.
And now Love going to change things up.
Edo blue. Black ultra. Ready?
From the 40 now on second down. Love, a short throw to Musgrave. Big strides, look at him go. Touchdown! Luke Musgrave, 60 yards. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Well, that's pretty impressive, Charles. It's one thing to be an elite speed wide receiver and have all that yards after the catch into the end zone, but from your tight end?
Yeah, you don't get that very often. What you're describing is more like a Tyreek Hill, a Devontae Adams, and Antonio Brown. You're not talking about a guy that lines up or can line up in line and look like an extra tackle on running plays. He took that bad boy downfield just like he was a scat back.
Before the game, he told me, I'm going to have a zinger or two today. And I was like, oh, a zinger or two? I guess that's a zinger, right?
That's a zinger.
Carlson back out there now to send this one away. Powell now to take it out of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. A give for Walker running right. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll check in with Jonathan Coachman from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half of play. 2nd down, Cousins. He lets it fly for Lockett. And the 3rd interception thrown by Cousins. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Ready.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Off the play fake, Love. Rush coming, and he's taken down. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
But that's what they have to do more of defensively, not just getting sacks, but they have to keep getting in his face, not let him get his feet set and deliver. He's been carving them up previously.
Yeah, already has a couple of touchdown passes. About time they put a few grass stains on that jersey. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
On now is the Packers punter.
Brandon Powell, deep for Minnesota.
He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. 35 yards that time on the punt. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10.
First and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20.
Here's Cousins. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception.
And the Packers are going to take over at their own 2-yard line.
Well, Brandon, as they say in popular culture, this one's going to leave a mark because they can see the end zone, but it'll stay out of reach because of their error. All their offensive teammates have to get with the quarterback right now, offer a little bit of encouragement because what's done is done. Let's get them next time out.
And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run.
Stop made there by Brian Asamoah.
And while they hope to continue this drive, it's really already mission accomplished. They've given enough space now that they have to punt the ball. They've done so with that first run.
22 needle. Set.
They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. Not too many breaks ahead according to the radar. More snow on the horizon as we are back underway in half number 2.
From his end zone, Wilson. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
At their own 22-yard line.
Ready up.
About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line.
This offense set to begin the 3rd quarter. And, Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one, so now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have a control in this ball game, and down the stretch, being able to be balanced, either throw it or run it, and try and win this ball game.
Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains.
Black shot. Hut, hut.
On 3rd down, Love.
That's caught by the rookie, Jaden Reed.
And he'll be stopped here well short of the 1st down at the 24-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. And that's going to make it 4th down. On now is the Packers punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time.
Here's Powell on the return.
33 yards is the distance on the punt there.
And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10.
At their own 45-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Meanwhile, Cousins' throw pulled in by Jefferson. He'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Cousins now. And that is incomplete.
But they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Still just the 3rd quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on 4th. To throw, Cousins. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 4th down, no problem. Just a ho-hum pickup of 14 to keep the offense on the field. Now to the ground. Here's Walker. And he'll find his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down. So a decent deficit at this stage in the second half. 4-down territory?
No doubt about it. There's not a chance that he hasn't looked ahead and said, okay, if we gain yardage on this play, this is what we'll do going forward. If we look,
and he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Ken Walker, his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Vikings get a bit closer.
And that's a step in the right direction. This had the feeling of one of those turning point kind of drives. If you come up empty there, it could be a long road back. But they persevered and hung around, and they closed the gap here in the 3rd quarter with their first touchdown of the game.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42. Great return.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
Got it.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. The 3rd quarter has not been kind to them. After they built that lead at intermission, they've seen that lead shrink.
And how much of that is simply execution? How much of that is maybe you lose your edge a little bit because you've got a lead? And you do have to credit the other team some because they've made some adjustments to start to slow them down. Can they find those counters now, those extra plays or plays they haven't run that'll be effective and get them back moving again?
They'll be looking for something here, anything to seize that momentum back. 2nd down and 3. Here's Love. Open man is Musgrave, the tight end. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down.
Brandon, there have been some memorable snow games for championships in the NFL. 1948, Philadelphia Eagles, Chicago Cardinals.
Well, the most famous one in my lifetime, I think, is got to be 01, right? Raiders, Patriots, just send the Patriots to the Super Bowl.
The tuck roll, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one people remember. But I also know this. In Miami, the infamous one, the snowplow game. In New England, when they went out there and the Patriots had a guy come out and clear a spot on the field for their field goal kicker to kick the game winner.
Is that 82?
That was 82, and the Dolphins fans will never forget it.
Well, we're not seeing one of those famous games here, but it's fun to be in the snow nonetheless.
Here we go.
Here's second and 10.
Watch out now. 50 Fury. Cut.
Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets them up first and goal.
Brandon, guys do whatever it takes to have fresh legs late in the season nowadays, don't they? How about him last week? Week 16, NFC Player of the Week for his performance.
Probably means a little bit more to him later in the year, doesn't it? Because of what you just said, the fatigue for a running back throughout the season.
Shows the off-season training and the endurance that he created in order to have that type of a game this late in the season.
One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. It's Packer football here as they've got the lead as well to begin the fourth quarter.
Here we go.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is first and goal.
Cycle. Red. Yellow. Stick. Mega. Black. Red. Green Jack. Ready?
Now Love. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line. Second and goal.
In motion left goes Watson.
Ball red.
On second down, it's Jones. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And he's not going to get anywhere close to the marker as he'll stop him well short of the yellow line. And 3 yards on the carry there as his defense holds strong and takes it to 4th and goal.
So off goes Love. On is Carlson for the Packer field goal.
This just a 24-yard attempt. And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the fourth.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist. But time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
At their own 24-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
The throw over the middle taken in.
And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after.
So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it's second down. To throw is Cousins. And he's got this to Jefferson. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 36. A very solid gain of 27.
Good yardage on the completion there. And when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
Credit the defense there to Quay Walker, getting behind the line of scrimmage before they can rip off any sort of a gain.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Throwing is Cousins.
Throw left side, taken in by Jefferson.
And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. They could not contain Kenny Clark as he gets home for the sack. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And the Packers D comes up with a big stop. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. Big stop on the turnover on downs to get the football back, and now it's just all about salting this one away.
Yeah, just slowly bleed the clock away. Clock's definitely on your side. And
touchdown, Packers! Aaron Jones with touchdown number 20 on the year.
And the Packers add on to their lead, and they are also closing in on a 5th straight victory.
Well, I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
The point after, no gimme in the snow, but it's up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
Anders Carlson to kick off for the Packers.
So after the made field goal, here's Carlson to send it away. Powell now to take it out of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Cousins on first down. His throw incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Now Cousins here on the bootleg.
Open man, he's got Jefferson across the formation.
And he works it across the 25 before being tackled.
Yeah, you only get a 1-yard buffer there from the line of scrimmage, and he got downfield a little too far, and the flag came out.
Now Cousins.
To the right side and complete to Jefferson. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. Going underneath, he's got Hockenson. So the completion good for just 3. And that's going to bring up 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And now here's another interception. Picked off by Quay Walker. And the Packers are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine.
Here we go.
And they will take a knee here. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Air-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle. Go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.
So for the Packers, they improved to 14-2 with still one game left to be played.